Is a man not financially having enough money a good reason to not be engaged? Yes and no. Coming from a coming from a man's perspective, as a man, what goes through my head when I think about engagement is eventually a wedding, right? So not only do I have to purchase a ring because I want to give you, I'm speaking in general, not speaking directly towards you, speaking in general, speaking out loud as a man. What goes through my head is I have to figure out how to propose to this woman. I want to make it the best proposal I possibly can afford, right? I want to get her the biggest ring I can, at least over a carat rather. Um, so it's gonna cost me anywhere from $2,000 upwards to 5 to 10, depending on how big we're gonna go, right? And a lot of men don't really understand finances to the point where like you can finance a ring. So like you could have something as small as a $50 payment per month. In my personal opinion, is small. $50 a month, it could be a lot for some people. $50 a month to me, I feel like it's small. $50 a month spending on fast food, going once or twice, right? Um, you could finance a ring. You don't have to buy it outright. You could put down half now and then pay off the rest as you go. And you can still physically walk out with the ring because you're financing it, right? So that eliminates the idea of like, okay, I got to buy a ring, cash money, and outright have it on hand expeditiously. So I got to go buy a $10,000 ring all cash right now so I can have a ring to propose with. That's not the case. But a lot of men think about, okay, I need to do the whole shebang. I need to get the ring and I need to get something. I need to pay for a venue to propose to her at. Then I got to come up with the logistics behind a plan on how to make this proposal memorable. And I need fireworks. I need this. I need that. And that's just a proposal. Then you got to go into a wedding, which means you're going to need a wedding dress. And I'm going to need tuxes and suits and got to send out invitations. And it becomes a whole thing. And all men see is the cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. So after $5,000 ring, and then you gotta let's say proposal is upwards to $7,000, and then you gotta think about the wedding costs and the venue costs upwards to $20,000, and for photographers and videographers and catering. Like, men think about the money side, and that tends to get overwhelming in a sense because it's like, how am I gonna make all this money to propose to this woman? Granted, you're only saying engagement. That is simply getting down on one knee, pin a ring, and say, hey, will you marry me? And that could be done as cheaply as possible, as long as it's meaningful. In my personal opinion, not saying you should get a ring pop and propose, but what I am saying is that if all you can afford is a half a carat, which is like a $2,000 ring, it's not necessarily like, yes, you want to give your partner the best you can as a man. You want to go above and beyond. But if this is all you can afford, but this is what you want to do, which is propose with what you got, she will understand. You are not in the best financial position, but you do want to spend the rest of your life with this woman, and you will upgrade her ring on the next anniversary, or you will get her a bigger one when you can afford it. But right now, if the goal is to propose, figure out how to make it meaningful. Okay, I know her family means a lot to her. I know it's going to mean a lot for her families there. I need to figure out how I can plan for her family to be there and surprise her when I'm there with her, and they could be a part of this proposal. And how can I find a cheap venue? Maybe a restaurant will allow me to have a space in the back, or maybe this venue will allow me a spot in the corner to propose her for her family to be there. Like, it takes creativity. It takes initiative. It takes like you wanting to do it. And like I said, when it comes to financing a ring, yeah, go finance a ring. Hell, go to the pawn shop. Pawn shop has cheap rings there from people who have put their rings in there because they needed money. Like, there's so many aspects as to how to do it in the way where it's not breaking the bank. And then talk about a wedding. Okay, what's the expectations on a wedding? Do we want a small wedding? Do we want a big wedding? What's the idea of how much money we want to spend on this wedding? That's going to determine how long it's going to take for us to realistically get married, if we want all these things accommodated in our wedding. So that way, at least I know and you know that I might not have the money right now to pay for the entire wedding, but at least we have something, we have a goal to work towards. In 3 years, we should, based off, if we keep going along this line, we'll have enough money for a wedding to accommodate all the things that we want at our wedding. And it's not, okay, we'll actually have a wedding soon. I'm trying to figure out finances. I'm trying to work it out. I'll take care of it. Because that doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel secure. Like, what does that even mean? But when you sit down and have a plan with your partner and be transparent and be real about your situation, and they understand, like, when I say they, I mean like when you as a man explain these things to your woman, and talk about what the plan is and talk about what the goal is and talk about this and talk about that. Like, she never has to question anything because now she understands, she gets it. So when you propose with a half a carat ring, she's not expecting something huge. Not that she shouldn't be, because maybe you might pop out with it, but at least she knows, she understands, like, he would do more if he could, but this is just a situation right now, and I'm grateful and just to be his fiance. But I feel like a lot of that doesn't happen, and usually it's just left up to, well, I can't marry you because I don't got the money. I can't propose to you because I don't got the money. I'm just not in a financial position to do that right now. Most, like, my ring is silicone. I have a silicone ring. I don't like metal. I'm wearing a gold chain right now only because my wife bought it, and this is the only jewelry that I would wear because my wife got it. But my wedding ring, my wedding band, is silicone. I can get a pack of 10 for $6 off Amazon. My wife would have been happy if I were to propose with a silicone ring. Did I propose to her? I didn't do that. I didn't propose a silicone ring. I got her a ring that she wanted. But I'm just saying that it's not more so about the dollar sign. It's more so about the actual action. And I think a lot of men use that as an excuse to say they're not financially in a position to propose. I don't like to assume, because it could be multiple things happening at the same time. I don't like to leave it as like, it could be, well, he has commitment issues, or he has this, or he has that. It could be a number of things, right? It could be the fact that he might feel like he doesn't have enough money to give you the ring that he wants right now, so he'd rather wait until he's in a financial position to afford the ring rather than give you anything just to say, hey, here's a ring. It could be the fact that he has seen marriages fail throughout his entire life, and he's actually afraid of the thought of marriage, not because he doesn't want to be married to you. It's just that he's seen so many failed marriages. How does he know that he's doing it right so that it can have longevity, so that way you two can last forever? How does he, like, he might be the first person who has ever been in a healthy enough relationship to even consider real marriage because he wants to, not because he feels obligated to. And he just doesn't know what to look like or how to express that to you without you getting offended by it, because you might take it as, well, you don't want to marry me. And he's like, no, it's not that I don't want to marry you. It's just that I don't know how to marry. I don't know what marriage looks like. This is my first time doing this, and I don't know. That could be a possibility as well, in conjunction with the finances. It could be he might not be in the best mental and emotional space right now to even look beyond himself to give you a commitment like that, because he's still trying to figure out himself and who he is as a person. All in conjunction with having a fear of being married, all in conjunction with the finances. It could be multiple things at the same time. Don't just leave it as either or. But I like to get answers. I like to ask questions. I like to understand further as to where their thought process is. So if my partner told me, hey, I can't propose to you, or I don't want to propose to you because my finances aren't in the right place, I would follow up and keep asking questions. Hey, so what does that mean? What are you expecting your finances to look like for you to be comfortable enough to propose to me? I'm not trying to rush you. I'm just trying to understand, what is it that's blocking you from getting to point A to point B? Do you feel like you have to give me a certain ring? Do you feel like we have to go, okay, engagement, immediately prepare for a wedding and then get married, and you have to have money for all of that? Like, what exactly is causing you to feel the way you feel? Because I'm just trying to understand where your mindset is, so that way I get it and I understand, and I'm not sitting there waiting till your finances get better, because I'm going to assume the next big bonus check you get in the winter time, that's going to be $10,000. I'd assume that's going to go towards a ring. And then because of that, I should be expected to get proposed to at the end of the year, maybe on New Year's time frame, because you told me you wait for your finances to get better, and your finances just got better. So, like, what are we waiting for? And if that doesn't happen, I'm going to get disappointed by these unrealistic, or I won't say unrealistic, but by these expectations that are set upon you, because you told me and I didn't get provided clarity as to what you meant by you need to get your finances together. I just assume, based off what makes sense to me, that next time you get a big check, that's going towards you proposing to me, because I would assume that would be on your priority list amongst everything else. So, like, I like to ask questions to get clarity, because I like to see where my partner's mind is, instead of just saying, like, well, that motherfucker gotta be cheating. Like, he gotta have commitment issues. It must be another chick. Like,